As the fourth quarter winded down in the 2014 NFC Divisional Round showdown between the Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay Packers, a classic in the making, America's team was on the ropes. Down by 5 with less than 5 minutes to go, the Cowboys desperately needed a touchdown to keep their season alive. And when faced with a critical 4th and 2 from inside Packers territory, they had no choice but to go for it. With their season on the line though, Dallas delivered, and then some. Or so we thought. Instead, what looked like a spectacular, season-saving catch and throw from Tony Romo to Dez Bryant was ultimately ruled an incomplete pass upon video review. A shocking, highly controversial decision that spelled ruin for the long-suffering Cowboys and changed football's rulebook as we know it. Look, the circumstances of Dallas's loss to the Packers are agonizing in and of themselves, but the so-called no-catch game is particularly excruciating given A, the context of the Cowboys' ongoing struggles, and B, how unexpectedly magical their season had been. See, coming into the 2014 campaign, the Cowboys, once football's most glorious franchise, were nearly 2 decades removed from their last Super Bowl title and were mired in their longest postseason drought since the late 1980s. By 2014, Dallas had gone 4 straight seasons without a playoff appearance, or a winning record for that matter, and neither their short-term nor long-term future were especially bright. Tony Romo, their longtime quarterback and the franchise's eventual all-time leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns, was approaching the end of his career. At 34, Romo was several years removed from his last Pro Bowl appearance, and he was coming off the second worst season of his career by adjusted total QB rating. In fact, Romo's drop-off was concerning enough that team owner Jerry Jones was tempted to take Texas A&M star Johnny Manziel in the 2014 NFL Draft, even with Romo under contract through 2016. Luckily, however, the Cowboys dodged that bullet, taking Notre Dame guard Zach Martin with their 16th overall pick instead. Still, Romo's seemingly declining play was only one of the issues facing the 2014 Cowboys. They also lost 2 major pieces from their defense following the 2013 campaign, with future Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware and Pro Bowler Jason Hatcher departing via free agency. And bottom line, the Cowboys were in a tough spot. Jones himself even acknowledged that during the preseason, noting that the 2014 campaign would be an uphill battle for his club. However, as the season unfolded, it became abundantly clear that rumors of the Cowboys' demise were greatly exaggerated. After a brutal season-opening loss to the 49ers, which set off a bona fide panic in Dallas and invited endless amounts of criticism, the Cowboys silenced their critics and shocked the football world by rattling off 6 straight wins and powering their way to the top of the NFC standings. This was no fluke either. They were dominating on all fronts. Their new-look defense was comfortably in the top half of the league, and their offense was even better. 4th-year running back DeMarco Murray, on his way to Offensive Player of the Year honors, anchored the second-best rushing attack in the NFL, while Romo, at the age of 34, was turning in the finest season of his career. A big reason for that? Dez Bryant, the star wideout who after 2 straight seasons with at least 1,200 receiving yards and a dozen touchdowns had taken his game to another level. Against all odds, these Cowboys were legitimate Super Bowl contenders and were arguably Dallas's best team since their '95 championship. Ultimately, Dallas finished the season 12-4, clinching their first NFC East title since 2009 and finishing in a 3-way tie with the Packers and reigning champion Seahawks for the best record in the conference. Along the way, the Cowboys went undefeated on the road. Romo led the league with career bests in QB rating and completion percentage, Murray led the league in rushing yards by a mile, and Bryant led the league with 16 receiving touchdowns, a Cowboys single-season record. All told, they sent 8 players to the Pro Bowl, a delegation, it should be noted, that included the rookie Martin, whose selection over Manziel was initially received extremely poorly in Dallas. Suffice it to say, these Cowboys had distinct Team of Destiny vibes, a feeling that was only reinforced with their triumphant comeback victory over the Detroit Lions in the wildcard round. That said, they were about to face a formidable challenge in the divisional round. The Packers, a longtime NFC powerhouse that had taken home the Super Bowl 4 years prior. And their superstar quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, happened to earn his second of 4 career MVP awards in 2014. In any event though, this game had all the makings of a classic. Two storied franchises meeting in the postseason for the first time in almost 20 years, with the Cowboys looking to extend their Cinderella season and ultimately snap an extended title drought, and the Packers trying to cement their status as a proper dynasty. And sure enough, the two juggernauts put on a proper show in sub-zero temperatures at Lambeau Field, a back-and-forth affair with spectacular quarterback play on both sides. 3 quarters in, the Cowboys were clinging to a 1-point lead, but that advantage eventually evaporated when Aaron Rodgers connected with Richard Rodgers for a 13-yard touchdown with just over 9 minutes to play, putting the Packers up 26-21 and giving Green Bay its first lead since late in the first quarter. Now, 9 minutes is a long time in football, but nevertheless, the ensuing Dallas possession was likely going to determine the Cowboys' season. If they didn't score, with the way Rodgers was playing, this one-possession game could soon be out of reach. But the Cowboys sure looked like they were going to score. On their first play from scrimmage, Murray broke off the longest run of the game, a 30-yard scamper that put the Cowboys practically at midfield. 2 plays later, Romo hit Bryant for a 10-yard catch and another first down. Dallas was in Green Bay territory, marching towards the end zone and eating up the clock. And then their drive stalled. Suddenly, after a dismal series that included a second-down sack, the Cowboys found themselves facing a 4th and 2 from the Packers' 32-yard line. With less than 5 minutes to play, they had no choice but to go for it. This was, for all intents and purposes, their season right here. And with everything on the line, Romo, facing a blitz, dropped back and unleashed a throw that would become a touch point in Cowboys history.
4th down and 2. Here's one down the sideline. Pass caught by Dez Bryant. They're going to mark him inside the 1. And a brilliant catch by number 88.
A brilliant catch indeed. Despite sticky coverage from Sam Shields, he just couldn't contain Dez Bryant, who went up and grabbed a perfectly placed jump ball from Romo and put the Cowboys firmly in the driver's seat. 1st and goal from inside the Packers' 1-yard line. The Cowboys were taking this thing. They were the team of destiny, and that sensational catch and throw was just further evidence of that. Except it wasn't. And they weren't. Before the Cowboys could run their next play, Packers head coach Mike McCarthy threw his challenge flag. He didn't think Bryant's catch was in fact a catch, as the ball clearly moved as Bryant made contact with the ground. And according to Rule 8, Section 1, Article 3 of the NFL's rulebook at the time, a rule, by the way, that controversially took a game-winning touchdown away from Calvin Johnson 5 years earlier, if a player goes to the ground in the act of catching a pass, he must maintain control of the ball throughout the process of contacting the ground. If he loses control of the ball, and the ball touches the ground before he regains control, the pass is incomplete. The thing is, though, Bryant caught the ball in the air around the 7-yard line, got both feet down inside the 5-yard line, took another step and shuffled the ball from his right hand to his left, and only then did he crash down, while clearly extending, inside the 1-yard line, at which point the ball got jostled. Really, you could make a case either way. That Bryant ended up at the 1-yard line in the act of catching the pass, and that he didn't maintain control of the ball throughout the process of contacting the ground, and that Bryant made the catch, made a football move, and had ultimately secured possession by the time he hit the ground and the ball wobbled in his grip. But in truth, irrespective of the letter of the law or the textbook definition of a nebulous concept like possession, it felt like a catch. Either way, though, this was the game right here. Now, in theory, the rules of football's challenge system favored the Cowboys. The play was ruled a catch on the field, and the officials needed indisputable visual evidence to overturn it. Yet, when referee Gene Steratore went under the hood to confer with VP of Officiating Dean Blandino, that was cold comfort for Cowboys fans, who had known nothing but frustration and disappointment for the last 20 years. And right on cue, after several minutes, or a veritable eternity in Dallas, Steratore emerged and delivered perhaps the most shocking and controversial review ruling in recent NFL history.
Here's the call. Biggest call of the day.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain possession of the football during the process of the catch. The ball comes loose, hits the ground, therefore the ruling is an incomplete forward pass. That was Dallas's 4th down. They will lose the ball on a change of possession on the downs. It will be Green Bay's ball, 1st and 10.
I'm trying to reach over the goal line. Why is that not a catch? I'm trying to reach over the goal line.
Bryant's reaction says it all, doesn't it? From pure elation to unimaginable heartbreak. The overturned call resulted in a turnover on downs, halting Dallas's season-saving drive in its tracks and giving the Packers possession on their own 32-yard line. And a few minutes later, after Rodgers and the Packers converted a pair of first downs, Green Bay walked off as victors, and the Cowboys' improbable, magical ride was over. Gut-wrenching doesn't even begin to describe it. Yet, in a perverse way, that controversial end to their 2014 season ultimately cemented that Cowboys team in football history. The uproar it inspired throughout the football world was as loud as it was immediate and made Dez Caught It perhaps the most enduring hashtag the NFL has ever known. In fact, Dez Caught It is now a shorthand for the game itself, which is perhaps the most memorable chapter in the Cowboys' recent history of futility. And for the record, it wasn't just Bryant and Romo and Cowboys fans and pundits who thought he caught that ball. Even Shields, the guy defending Bryant, thought it was a catch. And to this day, Bryant, who's been effectively retired since 2020, still hasn't let it go. In early 2024, in fact, on the 9-year anniversary of that fateful play, Bryant reminded everyone once again that he caught that ball. But Dez Caught It, or the no-catch game, is more than just a painful chapter in the Cowboys' woeful recent history. As Bryant said in his anniversary tweet, he changed the game forever with that play, and he's not wrong. In the wake of that controversial finish, the NFL repeatedly tweaked the language of its catch rule in an effort to avoid episodes like Dez Caught It and make the definition of a catch more closely aligned with our intuitive understanding of what a catch is. Some of their amendments, however, resulted in more confusion than clarity, and the true legacy of that game may well be how it highlighted that a catch is impossible to define. Having said that, the league's 2018 revision to the rule, which removed the requirement to survive the ground, ultimately reaffirmed that Dez did indeed catch it. Of course, that was little consolation for Cowboys fans 3 years after the fact. And today, with their Super Bowl drought going on almost 3 decades, that game remains firmly in sore spot territory rather than we can laugh about it now territory. You really can't overstate what a number it did on the already troubled psyche of Cowboys fans. But, well, as they say, that's life in the NFL, where a catch is a catch, except when it isn't. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button.